being a descendant from slavery. And we all are aware that slavery basically means that you've been in service, not by choice, but by force to others, not for your benefit, but for theirs, but at your detriment. And that being the case, to start thinking about a life free from that, you start thinking about those things that you have been denied as being something now that is open to you. And you'll think of all of the things. Doesn't necessarily mean that you want to possess them all, but to have it available to you if you choose to is the thing that freedom is about. Not the absolute possession of things, but the right to have access. So when I speak about God, and I speak about life, and I speak about the things that are made from the resources that have been given to us, utilized and maximized by the intelligence that have come through the minds of others, that are to be used to benefit those that desire it, and yet being open to all that might desire it, doesn't necessarily mean that when you go to a buffet, you know, some people who came out of hunger, never had enough to eat, they go to a buffet and see all this food, they want to eat some of everything that's there. And this might go on for a period of time, generations perhaps, or it just might be a few weeks to recognize that the food will always be there. And you can always go back and get some additional ones. So you don't have to keep your plate running over. You can just take enough for now. And eventually you might find out that you in a place where you can eat anything you want. All you want is just a meal. It's all there, but all you want is just a meal. There will still be others come in who want to eat until they're bust. But you've learned the lesson. So when I speak to you about things that would bring me happiness, I just want to include you there, knowing that if I want a house, you might want a tent. And that is just as wonderful as either. But the thing that gets me the most is when I realize the conversation and how people respond to them. Yes, as a descendant of slaves, having access to a career, a job, contributing, one of the most important things you could do, whatever it might be that gives you the greatest joy, you're really on top. Art, singing, dancing, teaching, engineering, architect, all of these various pursuits in your choice is either one of them. And for you to have gotten it in your grasp, to me, I think that was absolutely wonderful. And I'm thinking that anybody else would feel the same. But now you are contributing, you are participating in life. You can walk if you want to, you can fly if you want to. You can run if you want to, you can crawl if you want to. Simple to me. And so when I came in and I was talking this way, thought it was something that the people wanted. I know I wanted it. So I just started voicing it out. But no one gravitated towards it. And it was kind of frustrating. And then you come along and you wait a while and somebody else comes out and they start speaking the very opposite of what you were speaking of. Very opposite of what I was speaking of. And I'm speaking of things that would draw us together, and this one speaking of things that would separate us. That kind of hatred and racism and bigotry, closing borders and shithouses. And people rose up by the millions. I'm serious. People rose up by the millions. This is what they're concerned about. education, unlimited and unrestricted health care from the womb to the tomb, living as though you're in heaven by having all your needs, wants, and desires met, but on anybody's mind. If it was, they came through a different door. Keep these people out of this country. Second-class citizen. And another thing I really think of, segregation is fine for people who want to segregate. White people and black people can have open to them where they can live in a community that's integrated if they so desire. Community exists. And if there are places where they don't want to integrate, white people want to live only among white people and black people want to live only among black people, fine. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. The thing of it is to make sure that life is available for everybody, and nothing happens for one that will cause a denial of life for another. To me, that's the way it goes. And so, sometimes when I think about all of the stuff, all of the trash that's thrown out there, and you really, honestly, I do not hear too much of anything talking about coming together, unity. Now, I do hear some of it now. I don't mean to give the impression that it's never spoken of. I do hear of it. But it's so small. Every now and then when you hear something like that, it just gets your attention. You start to, what? What was that? Somebody actually saying something? But most of the conversation is the ugly stuff. The ugly stuff. The ugly stuff. I promise you, you turn your TV on this morning and you just watch cable or those stations and listen to what you hear. You're going to hear filth, ugly stuff, filth, ugly stuff. You're not going to hear anything about peace and unity and happiness across the board and putting away the guns. And now you're not going to hear no conversation about that. And so when that's a foreign language, you just don't believe in it. You don't know it. You can't express it. But the stuff that you do know, violence and lying and cheating and all of the stuff, you're around it every day. So when somebody comes and starts talking to you about it, you're drawn to it because you understand it. You don't know how to fix it, but you understand it. But now the person that's talking has some of those things that you have been led to believe, gives one the impression that they got the answer. You know, they're the right color, they got the right shade of eyes, right shade of hair, and they rich. Don't let them have gold toilets. Then you believe anything they say. And if it takes you to hell, you go straight to hell believing it. Because you say what he got is what you want. And if he got it, he must know what he's talking about. And anybody that doesn't have it can't tell you nothing about it because you're not listening. I don't blame you. Until next time.